Where did Kelvin go? Oh, yeah. So that mic there is going to be where the members of the public can come and line up and speak when I call them. That is also going to be the mic you're going to want to come to and use to address the whole lot. All right? All right. One last reminder before we get started, before the chair calls the meeting to order. If you are interested in giving public comment today, you're going to want to come up here to my desk and fill out this comment card and put it in this tray. If you would like a water, they're in the back corner. If you would like a barbecue pork bun or pineapple bun, they're also in the back corner. And we'll start the meeting when Chair Tung decides to start the meeting.
I'm already there.
What?
I'm sharing the link. Started? Yeah.
Oh. Tell her. Tell her when you're ready.
Whenever you're ready. Hey guys.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nancy Tung. I am the chair of the San Francisco Democratic Party. Welcome to our Second, Democrats on the Move meeting. We have undertaken an initiative to get everyone out of the state building down at 455 Golden Gate and into the neighborhoods so that we can connect with real people, real neighbors, and real voters, and hear from you what is important to you and what you would like to see the Democratic Party do in San Francisco. We deal with primarily local issues and make local endorsements for offices like mayor, school board, supervisor. And this area actually will have a new supervisor in 2026 since the District 10 supervisor will be terming out. So there will be some exciting things coming from the party in the 2026 election. I want to make sure that everybody sees that we have some real-time translation here for our Cantonese speakers and Chinese readers. We are so lucky to have the support of Leon Chow, who has helped us with this initiative to make sure that our meeting is accessible for everyone. So I appreciate the work that you've done, Leon. Along with our staff member, Courtney Sid, to make this a reality. So with that, we do have an agenda for tonight. We have the party's business, and we will be asking for public comment from all of you very shortly. I do want to make sure that everyone who is speaking tonight, that we make sure not to speak over each other. And that applies to the members up here. Please do not speak over each other. The translation really only works if there is one person speaking at a time. So I will be trying to hold everyone to points of decorum as we progress in this meeting. Hopefully we won't have too much crosstalk. And also you will need to speak slowly so that the translation can catch up. But I think everybody can do that, right? Okay. So at this point in time, we're going to call the meeting to order. And I'm going to ask Director Chen to call the roll. Yes.
Calling the roll, Akbar is anticipated. Elliot O'Peer, Proxy Emma Hare, Arce. Here. Present. Avalos. Present. Proxy Michael Wynn, Kalamuchi. Here. Present. Chan. Present. Proxy Gordon Marr, Chen, myself present. Coles. I think anticipated. Yes. Dorsey. Present. Present. Galata. Anticipated. Gupta. Here. Present. Hare. Present. Ho. Here. Present. Kim. Anticipated. Kingsbury. Kingsbury. Present. Kingsbury present. Lai. Present. Present. Mahmood. Anticipated. Mar. Present. Win. Present. Philhauer. Present. Sen Girardi. Present. Two. Present. Ex officios. Pelosi. Proxy Gary McCoy. Mullen. Maybe coming. Kounalakis. Proxy Searing? Sorry. Okay. Thank you. Ma. Proxy Patrick Boileau. Yes. Cohen.
President by proxy.
Proxy Carolyn Weisinger. Wiener. I think anticipated. Haney. Proxy Andrea Gallardo. Stephanie. Also anticipated. And I think
during the roll. Mahmoud has arrived as well. Chair Tung, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Director Chen. Okay, moving on to the second item, which is approval of the meeting agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda? I do have one myself. Are there any other agenda amendments? So I did receive an email from Member Chan at about 2:45 this afternoon. She is the principal author of item number 10, which is a resolution condemning anti-Asian hate and scapegoating. I thought that it was a rather apropos kind of resolution, considering this is AAPI Heritage Month, for such an item to be on our agenda. But Member Chan has requested to withdraw it. And out of a desire for transparency, she did include also an email from the Richmond District Democratic Club from the President and Vice President Jonathan Meade and Sandra Lee Fewer, saying that they'd asked Member Chan to withdraw the resolution from our agenda because they believed that there were some amendments that would change the nature of the resolution, and that it was something that they did not want to happen. So Member Chan withdrew the resolution. And I will say that I was involved in some discussion regarding whether or not there were amendments that could be offered to make this resolution stronger. And that given that it is AAPI Heritage Month, and that because public safety, I think, is very central to the AAPI community, and that the safety of our elders is something that, and public safety as a right is something that this party has committed itself to in the past, that these amendments would have made the resolution that much stronger in a time where we are thinking about and actually having our meeting in a part of town that is very API centric. It is disappointing to me that Member Chan, who is not here, chose to withdraw this resolution. And I'd hope for some discussion regarding how we could work collaboratively to make that a reflection of the party's values. And so, but at her request, I am removing it from the agenda. And I would make a motion to amend the agenda as such. Is there any discussion on the item? Member Ho is asking to be recognized. Okay, go ahead. Oh, number 2.
Hello, everyone. Happy AAPI Heritage Month. If you didn't know, my name's Jade. I'm a Stop Asian Hate activist, and I got into the world of politics because of the Stop Asian Hate movement when our seniors were being murdered on our streets, and we had a district attorney. Sorry, translators. And we had a district attorney at that time that didn't even acknowledge or couldn't acknowledge that Stop Asian Hate even existed. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit disappointed we're not voting on this resolution today. I was really looking forward to supporting the Stop Asian Hate resolution. Supervisor Connie Chan is one of the only Asian American electeds on the Board of Supervisors. And when I read the resolution, one of the main things that stood out to me was that addressing Donald Trump and the way he fueled the racism and bigotry to almost allow the racists to attack our community. So I'm a bit disappointed. It is AAPI Heritage Month. I was looking forward to the Democratic Party acknowledging that Asian hate exists and making sure it is a priority in our community. So it is unfortunate we will not be voting on it today, but maybe next time.
Director Lund.
First, I just want to say a big welcome to everyone. Thank you everyone for coming today. Leho. Special thank you to our monolingual seniors for coming out. We really appreciate you for being out here, and each and every one of you for making time on this Wednesday evening. I would agree with my colleague Jade's remarks. I was not involved in politics in San Francisco until the last couple of years, and part of why I got involved was the Asian hate crimes during COVID as well. And a district attorney and a school board that, in my opinion, were putting ideology over communities like this community that we are in. And so I think it's really important that we, on the 5-year anniversary of COVID, Asian Heritage Month, we're actually standing up against Asian hate.
Any further comments on the amendment to the agenda? Member Ho.
Thank you, Chair Tom. I'm extremely disappointed that we will not be voting on this resolution recognizing and condemning anti-Asian hate. I only got activated politically during the Board of Education and with the Asian hate movement. In fact, it motivated me to change my career entirely. I started a nonprofit called Delta Chinatown Initiative to put up security cameras because Chair Tung just asked me to slow down, and advocate for public safety and for victims' rights. Perhaps to many of you, this resolution condemning anti-Asian hate doesn't mean much. It may just seem like it's a piece of paper. But I remember a time when acknowledging that anti-Asian hate existed was an uphill battle. There was attack after attack in the Bay Area, and there were unprovoked attacks on our seniors. And all I heard was silence from elected officials. We were gaslit into believing that it didn't exist. And I remember this feeling very deeply because being gaslit is a very isolating and disorienting feeling. It was incredible to see the crimes in front of our eyes and not see anybody, especially elected officials, speak up against it. It wasn't until the Atlanta spa shootings in March of 2021 was there a national recognition that anti-Asian hate existed. And at this point, it had been months, going on for months. This is kind of emotional for me, which is why I'm stumbling over my words here. Because this resolution condemning anti-Asian hate is exactly why I ran for this DCCC seat. I did not want to be gaslit. I want the pain to be minimized, and I didn't want our safety ignored. So I appreciate the seniors, the Asian seniors who are here today, because I know that you don't feel safe coming here sometimes, and especially for an evening meeting. I know that some of you guys ask to have rides home because you don't feel safe walking home. Condemning anti-Asian hate and supporting public safety is inextricable. My commitment stays strong around supporting public safety And it is extremely disappointing that the author of this resolution couldn't even show up today to pull the resolution herself. I emailed her 9 days ago to ask for inclusion of language around with public safety. I was ignored. It's just hard for me to see with one cheek someone condemning anti-Asian hate and with the other cheek entirely ignoring public safety. This is a regret. I'm sorry that for API Heritage Month, we don't have a resolution to support condemning anti-Asian hate. It was very easy to amend the language to include supporting public safety. It's very simple for us to work together on this issue. And my commitment to everyone is that I will continue supporting public safety and continue working with everyone who would be willing to work with me.
Thank you, Member Ho. Is there any other discussion? Yes, Member Mar.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair Tung. As the proxy for Member Chan of today's meeting, and also as one of the co-sponsors of this resolution, I just wanted to say that I think this is a great resolution to be brought forward today. At the beginning of API Heritage Month, and especially having the meeting here in Visitation Valley with such a large Asian Pacific Islander community here at the API Community Center as well. I thought it was a great resolution. Basically, the resolution states that the San Francisco Democratic Party unequivocally condemns anti-Asian hate and scapegoating and the targeting of Chinese and Asian Americans for their race, ancestry, and national origin, and that it opposes any legislation that unjustly targets Asian communities based on a racialized and xenophobic premise of national security, and acknowledges the unjust and growing racial scapegoating against Chinese and Asian American communities more broadly in the U.S. Tensions with China continue to escalate. But I think especially today when we see that the Trump administration is just revoking the visas of students from China, foreign students that have come here to study from China, is in a clearly xenophobic action that's going to further whip up anti-Asian hate and anti-Chinese sentiment in this country. So I think this is a very important resolution to be brought forward. It's my understanding there were some amendments that were proposed by some other members of the committee. I haven't seen those amendments, but I respect Member Chan and also the Richmond District Democratic Club, who really brought this forward with Member Chan, saying that they want more time to sort of discuss through the amendments that were proposed. So I do support the motion to continue it, and I would second that.
So there's not a motion to continue, it's a motion to remove from the agenda. And the indication that the chair received was that it was not to discuss amendments, but just to pull it completely. So the motion on the floor is to approve the meeting agenda with removing item number 10. Is it 10? Item number 10, which is Member Chan's resolution. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Member Mar. All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Any opposed to the amendment? All right. So that passes and our meeting agenda is approved. Item number 3 on our agenda is approval of the meeting minutes from April 23rd, 2025. Is there any discussion regarding the minutes from the last meeting? Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting? Moved by Director Lai. A second? Second by Vice Chair Hare. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the minutes have been approved. Now we get to some of the fun stuff. So I want to personally thank APAC for hosting us here tonight. This is a mainstay of the Visitation Valley community, both in serving families and seniors and children and newcomers to our community in San Francisco. And I know that Rex Tabora has been a hero here for many years, for more than a decade. And that Calvin, his right-hand man, has some words from APEC tonight.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kelvin Chan. I am the program manager for Asian Pacific American Community Center. You can also call us APAC. That's a lot easier. Number one, I'd like to thank all of you, SF Democratic Party BCC, for coming down to Visitation Valley. We are constantly known as the Forgotten Valley. We're constantly neglected. So we're glad that you're here. This is a good first step in recognizing that our community exists. Just some background on APAC. We were started by a group of Asian immigrants in 1999. They wanted to bring more resources to our community. And to a certain extent, we still need more resources. The crux of or the foundation of our programming still to this day is translation and social services. So as you see, there's a large monolingual community here, whether it's in Chinese or in Spanish. In Chinese, it could be Cantonese, Mandarin, Toisan, different languages that they need access to different public benefits. They need to apply for CalFresh. They may need access to low-income housing, senior housing, Medi-Cal, different things. They can even get letters in the mail they don't even understand. They can bring that to us. We can translate that for them. We can help them apply for public benefits. These are basic needs that they need for their every single day lives. And they basically, I don't want to say dependent, but they rely on us to get through that. Other things that we do, we have educational workshops. That includes public safety. It could be street safety, home safety. We work with a multitude of different resources that the city has. We've worked with SFPD. We work with the DA's office. Those workshops are super important on educating our community on how to act, how to be preventative in terms of not becoming a victim, but also teaching them, if you do become a victim, what the process might be like. On top of that, we do voter education. We try to educate our community on things like ranked choice voting. A lot of our community are still very confused on how that operates and how that works. We work with Department of Elections. We're also a polling site. Whenever there's an election, we also do waste disposal education workshops. And on top of that, we also have waste disposal education programs. We help with the community in Sunnydale. A lot of developments are going on in there. So they previously have not had a lot of waste disposal education. That's another thing that we do. We also have our youth programming. That is something that we built from scratch in an area that has a lot of issues with academics. My co-manager Kirsty and I, we did a lot of research. We checked in with a lot of programming here in Viz Valley, and we realized that educationally, we're pretty much at the bottom of the barrel. And because of that, we wanted to do more academically focused educational program for our youth, because we believe that they deserve better. So our after-school program, we've grown since 2016 to now have 40 to 50 kids. We also have a summer program where we get to maintain the education that they've had throughout the school year, but also take them to field trips so they can have fun as well. During the holidays, we also have our Black History Month Lunar New Year event where we try to unite our community. We also have our AAPI Heritage Month event we just had. Nancy was actually there, Michael was there. So thank you guys for being here. Any of the community, thank you guys as well. We also have our holiday food giveaways. We do a food giveaway for our community, a turkey giveaway. We do toy giveaways. Nancy's always also at our toy giveaway, so we're very, very appreciative of her. And she's actually there for the entire time too. So I want to make that a big, big point, to be honest. She's not there for a photo op.
That is the best part, Kelvin.
Absolutely, and she's here every time. She don't ask for nothing, so we love Nancy. We also have our volunteer income tax assistance program. Basically, we do taxes for our low-income community for free because we don't want them going off to places like H&R Block or paying money to go buy TurboTax, because a lot of our community are low-income. They do not have access to that. We also started a digital equity program. We've worked with Senior Planet, World Education, basically educating a lot of our, whether it's monolingual seniors or different communities that need more access to digital equity. We also worked with, again, mentioned the Department of Elections. We actually did outreach just basically to get people to vote in our community. For those of you that don't know, Visitation Valley needs more of our community to vote, and we are a big proponent of getting them out to do so. On top of that, we've also co-sponsored the Justice for Onpeng Taylor rally, because we are also advocates for making sure public safety is a priority for basically everyone in San Francisco. That is something that we've tried our best to hammer home to all of our communities. Any people we speak about, I'm speaking about that to you guys. Public safety is a priority for our community. Please make sure that you guys also understand that that is what our community cares about. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Calvin. We appreciate you and all of the work that you and the staff here at APEC do for this community and for San Francisco. Moving on to remarks by our on the move board member for this month, Michael Lai, Director Michael Lai, who is our finance director. I've designated one of our executive board members responsible for each meeting, and Michael's meeting landed this month and is in our Visitation Valley portal at part of town. And so Michael, why don't you take it away?
Thank you. Can we just give another round of applause to Kelvin, Rex, Anna, the team from APAC for having us and being a fixture in this community. I also want to thank some other partners this month, the Portola Democratic Club. I want to thank Ashley, a number of the folks at Mercy Housing and Sunnydale Hub as well, who hosted us for an event last week with Assessor Recorder Joaquin Torres. So can we give it up to some of these partners? This is a community that is right next to mine. I live in the Excelsior, which is also often forgotten. And it means a lot to be here this month for, and to be welcomed here this month for AAPI Heritage Month. It's so immigrant heavy, so AAPI heavy. And this was also a community where last November, it was among the highest vote share for Donald Trump. So as part of the Democratic Party, we thought it was important this month to go out and be in community and listen. So I want to shout out Courtney from the Democratic Party, Babak, who led a number of initiatives this month. We supported small businesses with Chow Fun, over 54 restaurants, boba shops, cafes here in the Southeast, including on Leland Avenue. We did a budget panel with Assessor Recorder Joaquin Torres at the Sunnydale Hub. We did a merchant walk, couple merchant walks on San Bruno Avenue and Leland Avenue. And I'll just say I heard from a couple of Cantonese speaking businesses. One of them raised I guess plastic thing for me and told me exactly how much it cost more because of the tariffs and how upset he was and how that's affecting his business. And then also service. We partnered with Family Connection centers this month, and thanks to Chair Tong, and we served food and did a coffee chat as well, right? So those are some of the things we did in community. This is just a start, but we're here to listen to you all and support how we can. So with that said, maybe I'll turn it back over to Chair Tong for public comment. But thank you for having us, everyone.
Thank you, Director Lyon. Thank you for your work in putting this month together. We are now on to item number 5 on our agenda, which is general public comment. I usually read a very long statement about our code of conduct, and that we would like for everyone to adhere to our code of conduct, to be respectful of each other, no matter what our differences may be, either political or our national origin, our background, what language we speak. I'm not going to read it all today because I think this group is a little less rowdy. And I see that you guys are all listening and really taking note of what's happening. And so I will just say that we do have a code of conduct in the Democratic Party. And the code of conduct essentially is be nice to each other. So we will not tolerate harassment or disruptive behavior. No name calling, no yelling, and no slapping on tables today. Thank you. With that, Executive Director Esfandiari, please go ahead and initiate public comment.
I might need a second mic. One of these mics is gonna be.
Executive Director, I think based on the number of people for public comment and the fact that we are here to listen to people, we can give 2 minutes to each speaker.
No cap on the total amount for the item.
Correct. I might give extra time to Marlene Tran.
Hi, everyone. If you would like to make a public comment before this board, please fill out a comment card available at the table where I am seated, over here, this little tin. I will call speakers in the order that I received the comment cards. Please note that this body takes all public comment during this item. Each member of the public will have 2 minutes to address this committee. Associate members, including club presidents or chairs, members of the Democratic State Central Committee, Assembly District chairs, and regional directors will have double or 4 minutes to address this committee. I will keep time with my phone and hold up a piece of paper that is in my bag that says time when your time has elapsed, and I will hold up a 30-second marker when you have 30 seconds left. The microphone for public comment is here. You can either sit or stand. It's your preference. And with that, I have the first couple of names right here. Starting with Marlene Tran. And forgive me in advance if I butcher some names because it's definitely not my language forte. So I might need help, Marlene. Marlene Tran, Winnie Sang, Rex Tabora, and B. Shin Fong, I think.
So I do want to reiterate that we are here to listen. And I know that maybe speaking in public, especially if English is not your first language, it may be scary. But we do want to hear from you, and Leon Chow, again, is here to help with interpretation if you need it. If you would like just to speak in your native language, Leon can help us out. So thank you, and Marlene, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. A huge welcome to the Democratic County Central. In fact, when I was elected in 1998, we never had our meetings here. So this is a real a big issue that, and so I'm so happy about it. I've been thinking about it for days already. So I want to thank Kelvin for talking about, one of the main topics of this that concerns this community, and that has to do with public safety. I'm going to talk about 3 topics because of time factor. For decades, language barriers, cultural inhibition, lack of San Francisco Police Department translations access have made our API more vulnerable to crimes. Therefore, my volunteer group, the Visitation Valley Asian Alliance, and I did a lot of bilingual surveys, organized monthly police meetings, assisted crime, even offered for free then Police Captain Bruce a space like a kiosk at my Leland Avenue property for residents to better communicate with their officers. I still grieve over a few of my elderly City College students who are homicide victims. Susana Yee's grandmother, Yik Oi Huang, and they named the park after her, was my citizenship student. Therefore, I joined the API Police Forum, Stop Crime SF, and Ingleside Police CPAP. Thanks to API's ongoing efforts for providing safety workshops, which are so important. The last few years, blessing scams and other online scams are of increasing concerns for our API residents. Unfortunately, our Ingleside station is grossly understaffed. The lack of public resources and services For too many years, Visitation Valley has been called the Forgotten Valley because many of our 50% are non-English speakers or limited English speakers who have not been able to advocate for our needs. A prime example is our 100-year-old Visitation Valley Community Center where this meeting is being held, okay? And it is a sorry sight when compared to those in some villages. Besides its many structural problems, it is grossly inadequate to accommodate clients from several organizations. Since I retired from City College here in 2009, City College has not offered any ESL citizenship classes in the entire District 10. Thanks to Felton for offering online ESL classes, but that's still not the way that the students prefer. So my third item has to do with communication barriers. While District 10 is geographically the largest district, there has been a huge communication gap for our diverse residents. Unfortunately, our city's language access ordinance does not mandate our District 10 newsletters, the Ingleside and Baby police stations, information to provide translations. Most important community meetings are still outreached and conducted in English, while the Chinese residents rely on phone calls and WeChat. Sad that the only time when residents are better outreach is when candidates won the votes. Now you understand why some residents have become rather apathetic to voting. We need public officials to show more accountability via language appropriate and modality means to effectively, communicate with all our residents, especially after they are elected. Thank you for listening, and I hope that with your help, that this information is out, but there are other speakers who probably will be speaking also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marlene. Thank you for being a mainstay in this community and always advocating for Visitation Valley. Hi,
Up
Winnie.
next, Winnie Tseng.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to Chair Nancy, all the members. I'm Winnie Sen. I live here almost 40 years, and we have a lot of crime begin of the public safety, and we need bilingual police officers. Last time when I heard about the resolution commending Asian hate, and that target the current Trump administration of the increasing of anti-Asian incident. Therefore, I have two questions to ask Supervisor Chen and the other co-sponsor. Too bad, and she's withdraw all the resolution, and I think she's not a sincere person. At the city supervisors and the community leader, she didn't any of ever vote for defunding police and helping former district attorney Bodin. Describe your legislation and your involvement to fight for many anti-Asian hate crime that have particularly affected our senior immigrants because many cannot speak English and it's hard to report crime. To be fair, since the resolution does not include all you sponsor to pull real effort to help fight the organized racial bias and crime against Asian. It should not be voted in. We deserve real effort to help our population. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Rex Tabora.
Rex does not get any additional time.
It's okay. Well, like you won't need that anyway. I'll be very brief. Madam Chair, thank you so much for bringing the DCCC here. And I think it is about time that you guys and future politicians who serve the city figure out the Visitation Valley community. Along with me, and you've met Marlene, one of the biggest community leader here. I also have a handful of community leaders in our audience today. I do want to recognize Russell Maureen, who's been here for several years as well. Edith. And my very good friend Tino Feliz in the back there with SCDC. And I do have another Asian brother on the board of supervisors, Mr. Bilal Mahmood over here. I heard there was only one Asian, but I think there are two of them, right? Three, that's right. I'm sorry. So anyway, it's unfortunate that Miss Connie Chan withdrew because most of these Asian seniors over here would not be in the center past 3:30. But when I read your agenda and it included her resolution, they were energized. So I wanted to thank Connie Chan for this resolution. I think it's a good start. But unfortunately, it's missing three major components. Number one, it doesn't talk about the defund police policies, including installing police commissioners to essentially destroy the possibility of police from and preventing crimes. Number two, it doesn't mention the support of prosecutors who refuse to prosecute criminals, who then preyed on our Asian seniors. It doesn't talk, number three, it doesn't talk about the support of progressive judges who allow violent criminals to roam free in our society, and people have died here. These are policies that Connie Chan and you, Gordon Marr, have supported. Therefore, you must take responsibilities for your actions in fueling Asian hate. It needs to be included. Unless you add both of your names next to Trump as culprits, introducing this resolution here is very insulting to this community.
Thank you for your
I
comment.
said, yes, you fool somebody else somewhere else because these people are aware and awake. Mr. Galala and Mr. Nguyen, be careful what you're getting used for because you're hurting people. Thank you.
Up next, I have, sorry, I'll fix that. Bi Shin Kwong. And someone correct me if I'm wrong. No?
Bishan Kwong, Bishan Kwong.
Okay. Yes, if you need to take a comment card, fill it out and put it here. Thank you. All right, up next, I have Yao Huan Hun.
Can you tell them if they want to make public
頭
comment?
先嗌嘅係發言，大家睇到發言卡啦。咁啊，B 相關唔係一。Oh, okay. So I double check again. They don't know it's a speaker card, so they just fill out the name. So it's a mistake. So
Oh,
they're not speaking.
oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go through the remaining ones here, and if they want to speak, they can. Zhen Cheng Zi. Nope. Zhen Chu Hang. Thank you for bearing with me. You all can mess up my name any day of the week.
I'm sorry. I just want to say one thing that if they don't speak English, I will have translation. So
Yes.
嗱，如果你哋想發言填錯咗，但係有想講幾句俾民主黨中央委員會聽嘅話，你講廣東話，我可以幫你翻譯嘅。
I might make you do that again on the microphone. Up next, I have Kate Voschel, followed by John Klopp, and then Renia Tello. Reina Tello. Thank you. Kate Voschel.
Thank you so much for making the time for this and for bringing us out to Portola. I think this was a great idea. I am in front of you today to support the resolution to maximize affordable housing at the Marvel and the Mission. I am a 20-year resident of the Mission, and I would like to say that we have been looking so forward to this transformative project, and we would like to maximize its impact. Also, as a former affordable housing developer, I know how hard it is to make these projects work. And I think that we need to take every opportunity to house as many people as we can. And thirdly, I would just like to provide a voice for the 10 families whose future housing and future stability hang in the balance of this decision, of whether we're going to go with the full amount of units or delete these 10 units for shadow concerns. And I would like to speak on their behalf to urge you all to support this resolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. John Clough.
Hello, I hope everybody here will vote to support that resolution. We need more families in San Francisco, more families in California. We need to not lose but gain representation. We need to provide more eyes on the street, more neighbors, which does help with public safety. Housing is something that the Democratic Party is behind and should be behind. I hope you all support the resolution to maximize the amount of units and to marvel the mission. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Up next, Randy Fowler.
Good evening. My name is Reina Tello, and I'm here today to provide public comment on the resolution in support of the maximum capacity of units at 1979 Mission Street. On behalf of the countless community members who fought to make 100% affordable possible at that site, we ask, who did you speak to when creating this resolution? To be crystal clear, we are not against housing. We do want healthy housing with deepest affordabilities possible. Your resolution states shadow concerns are not a good reason to deny families housing. The community would respond. It was a concern with Maximus, and it is a concern now. However, the shadow is not the main concern nor the only concern that the community has. The community has asked many times about affordability, yet the community has been answered with minimal, hyper-focused answers about the shadow by the developers. What about the real concerns from the community and from the school next door? They will receive no answers according to the developer and the development team. I would ask, who asked you to create this tone-deaf resolution? Sorry. The problem with these types of resolutions is that you place yourselves as an expert, and you place your expertise over the lived experience of the community you want to bulldoze. You won't be accountable to the negative impacts of this development, nor will you find solutions. Your resolution says executive director is empowered to join and support advocacy efforts that boost housing for this project. Where is the empowerment for the community asking important questions? You know, I always thought the Democratic Party was supposed to look out for the people, not the corporations. And I thought you were supposed to look out for democracy. And silencing the voices of the community is not democracy. We ask you to vote no on this resolution until all community concerns have been addressed. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Kirsty Dutton, followed by Susan Pfeiffer. Oh, turn that off. Kirsty Dutton, followed by Susan Pfeiffer. Mauritius Chang. Apologies, it's hard to read that one. And then Sean Donovan. Kirsty Dutton.
I'm speaking for myself as someone who was previously an immigrant, a previous dreamer who became a proud citizen of the US and became a Democrat. Proud, but disappointed. What is the Democratic Party doing for the immigrants? We hear all these stories about people who are not allowed due process, but what are the Democrats doing to help? I don't need platitudes, I don't need resolutions. Words mean nothing when actions are what people need. I'm actually of the demographic that Democrats got screwed hard in the election. And you know why? Unfortunately, it's because a lot of people don't believe Democrats when they say they're gonna do something. As terrible as Trump is, a lot of those people who voted for him actually believed that he was gonna do what he said. And that's a horrible thing, because those are horrible people. We know that Democrats are different from Republicans. I've had coworkers who said there's no difference, but there is. I actually believe in your party. That's why I am a proud Democrat. But I'm disappointed. I need to see action. And it's not just me. All those people, young people, people in my demographic, they want to believe in something, that there is actually action behind your words. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Susan Pfeiffer.
Good evening, fellow Democrats. It's my monthly tirade. You may have noticed there was something that happened in Congress last week. The big beautiful bill was passed in the House after 4 California Congress people put out documents and pledged publicly that they would not vote for anything that cut health care. And then they did in the dark of night at 3 or 4 in the morning, wherever it was voted on, and thought that no one would see it. That's David Valadao in the Central Valley, Young Kim in Orange County, and then looking for the others, but there were 2 others. We have been phone banking for weeks through the California Democratic Party and Speaker Emeritus Pelosi's office. They've been running marathon phone banks. We are calling voters in those districts, explaining to them what this is about and asking if we can patch them directly through to that congressperson's office where they can leave a message that they do not want him to vote, he or she, to vote to cut health care. When they hear from their constituents, it does remind them what their job is and who they represent. We are going to continue doing that because the bill has gone to the Senate where they'll do their own thing, and then it's going to go back to the House that will have to change it. But for this week, we've been meeting at the Pelosi office on Thursday afternoon because Adam Schiff is going to join the phone bank from Los Angeles. We're going to be calling a couple of senators' offices, and I will get the, I just gotta get my phone up. It looks like we will probably be calling, we think, voters in the states for Tom Tillis in North Carolina, also Hawley and Sullivan in Alaska. So we're gonna get their voters, their constituents to call them. And then the week after that, we go back to calling the Congress people, the voters for Congress in California. This is critical work. And if we don't do that, people are going to lose their Medi-Cal or their Medicaid. So thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Mauricius Chang, Sean Donovan, and then Roberto Alfaro. When you're ready.
Good evening, Chair Tom and members. My name is Mauricio Chavez. I am an organizer for NorCal Carpenters Local 22. I represent 35,000 members across Northern California, to include the 4,000 members of San Francisco County. I am here with my brothers and sisters from Carpenters Local 22 to voice our strong support for item 12. We live in a time where we should be maximizing the number of affordable housing units, not trying to reduce them. This will be a 100% affordable housing development with 388 units for low-income families. 25% of those units are reserved for people who live or have lived in the Mission. This site sits above a BART station and is served by numerous other public transit lines. It is exactly the type of place where we should be building more affordable housing, not trying to limit the number of units or the height of the building because of a shadow. As a parent of a 4th grader, in December, our son does not go to school without dressing for the cold or rain, something I imagine San Franciscan parents are quite familiar with. Also, let us remember that these are kids, not plants, who do not require direct sunlight to grow and thrive. This project will be built by a general contractor signatory to the Carpenters Master Labor Agreement, who will employ local residents, meaning San Franciscans get to build San Francisco, and create training opportunities for the next generation of carpenters through our state registered apprenticeship. Not only will they employ local residents and foster training for apprentices, but they will also be paying area standard wages. a wage that will help families make rent and stave off homelessness, or a single parent be able to afford childcare while they go out to make a living. Moreover, as if that were not enough, every member working on this project will be putting into their pension and annuity so that when their day comes, they can retire with their heads held high and dignity intact. This project is a win-win for the mission and for San Francisco. We urge you to maximize affordable housing on this location. The Carpenters Union urges you to stand with union workers and all San Franciscans. We need affordable housing. Please support item 12.
Thank you for your comment. And my apologies for misreading your comment card. Sean Donovan, followed by Roberto Alfaro, and then Angelique Mahan.
Hi all. I'm here on behalf of the Portola District Democratic Club. I'm joined by other members. I saw Joe back there. He's not looking at me, but I just said your name, Joe. We have Dolores, Allison, and Margot. We're a scrappy, working class, and diverse neighborhood in the southeast part of the city. So diverse, we actually have two ways to pronounce the neighborhood, Portola and Portola.
You say potato, I say Portola.
But now, yeah, exactly. No one bats an eye either way. That's how we roll. But we sometimes feel overlooked by our elected representatives. In her exit interview, our former supervisor noted that she was so busy with the mission, she didn't really have a lot of time to focus on issues affecting our neighborhood. And we're hoping to change that by strengthening our political voice and engaging more with the Democratic Party. So please vote to charter our club today. This is my testimony.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead. Thank you for your comment. Up next, I have Roberto Alfaro.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Roberto Alfaro. I'm the Executive Director of HOMIE. We are a 25-year-old nonprofit organization located on 16th and Mission. We serve 2,300 youth and families annually in our community. I myself was born and raised in the Mission District. I am here to address the Maravilla resolution being proposed tonight by your body. HOMIE, along with the Plaza 16 Coalition, fought for over a decade to bring this project to form. We have fought for over 2 decades for affordable housing and against displacement in our community. This resolution assumes the best intentions of men on mission housing, and we do not. A week ago, the parents at Marshall Elementary School, 30% of whom are considered homeless, opposed this project coming to the community the way in its form. This opposition is from the most impacted families of this project, and it has very little to do with the shadow study. Don't just listen to developers of the news when you write resolutions. Listen to the residents you're supposed to represent. I stand with the Marshall children and the families at that school, as should you. Do not vote to pass this resolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. Next, I have Angelique Mahan, followed by Lauren Ballas, Brandon Powell, and then Gloria Berry. And a reminder, as Angelique comes up, just a reminder, if you would like to give comment, come over here and fill out a comment card, give it to me. Turn that off. Please, go ahead.
First of all, I want to say something before I start my public comment. First of all, Marlene Chan, it's been a long time. All right, I'm not sure what my brother from the SCDC, Rustino, had. Yeah, what's up, my brother? All right. So I'm going to talk slow.
But into a mic, because it's how we get the translation to work. Thank you.
I am not going to sit down. I am going to talk slow so the translation can get through because I mumble sometimes. I know Carolyn not well. I don't know you. I don't know you. I barely know you. I don't know you. I don't know you. I've met you a couple of times. I know you. I don't know you. I hugged you. I love you. I know you. I've met you. I barely know you. I don't know you. I don't know you. I've seen you. We sat on the board together. You. I don't know you. I am 54 years old. I grew up in the Excelsior. My grandmother lived on top. Oh, hey, honey. I love you. Hey, girl. My grandmother owned a home on Talbot Street 45 years ago. And the only question I really have for you is two things. I love my Asian brothers and sisters. I fight with some of them, but I love you. And I know that the issues that you're bringing up are important. And I want to stand, as you can tell, I'll stand with you and fight with you as long as there's a stand and a fight to be had. But you know, there were African Americans that lived and owned homes in this neighborhood. Some of us are still here. Some of us are still struggling. Marlene, you fight with us. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4 Black people at this meeting. And while it's important for us to acknowledge Asian API Heritage Month, you're here in our community, a community I've been in for over 50 years. I know I don't look old, but I am, right? And it's kind of interesting that we couldn't have that partnership and we could have came and supported you in this issue. And it would have been really important. And I found out about this meeting 30 minutes before it was going to happen. So it'd be nice if some of y'all got to know me, rather than me having to come and beg and acquiesce to know you. And finally, and this is the most important thing, I ran for DCCC 1,000 years ago before dinosaurs were on the earth, before you showed up, and you showed up, and you showed up, and you showed up, and you showed up. Not you. Right? And I remember the charter, the state charter for what central committees were supposed to do. You were supposed to grow the party and raise money. Now the resolutions are important. I need my 30 seconds. You were supposed to grow the party and you were supposed to register people to vote. And my question is this: how come you and you and you and you and you and you and you, all of you guys, why don't we see you guys, who your sole responsibility, look in your own state charter, your sole responsibility is not resolution, it is out on the street and register people to vote. Not paying headhunters, you being on the street to vote. Because if you were out in the Mission, and if you were out on Mission Street in Excelsior where I lived, you would understand some of the things we were going up against, and you would understand why people have issues about stuff. So that is not my criticism. Your job is hard. It'd be nice if you lived here, but it'd be nice if y'all got on the street yourself. You had to go to registration card, and you were standing on the corner, and you were and looking somebody in the face and saying, "I'm a Democrat, I'm your representative, and I'm asking you to be a Democrat and be registered to vote."
Thank you. Thank you for your comment.
Thank you for your comment. Up next, Lauren Vallis, followed by Brandon Powell, and then Gloria Berry.
Hello, members of the board. Nice to see some familiar faces. My name is Lauren Vallis, and I'm here tonight to urge you all to support Member Hare's resolution to fully fund behavioral health treatment beds here in San Francisco. The reason why I'm here tonight is because last cycle I was an organizer for an org here in the city, and I met a neighbor named Jesus who told me a story about his friend who passed away as a result of SF's current behavioral health system. He entered a recovery facility hoping to find the next stage of his life, but due to a lack of funding, capacity, and mismanagement, it was relatively easy for him to continue using on the premises, and he ended up passing away. This situation is not unlike the current reality here in our city. We have people struggling on our streets, and we don't have the capacity to help them. Now, I know that Mayor Lurie and others have secured a grant from the state to fund half of what the city has identified as the need for behavioral health treatment beds, and that's something to be celebrated. But we won't see a meaningful change in our daily lives unless we fully fund the need for behavioral health treatment beds. I want to end today with a story from another neighbor and friend. She told me about her grandmother who worked in a mental health facility in the 1980s. And she said that when Reagan implemented deinstitutionalization, they literally just opened their doors. I think of the image of these people who need care the most being pushed onto our streets and out of facilities where they could receive it. This is your chance to re-implement that social safety net that so many of us are feeling a lack of today, especially in our city. I urge you to vote yes on this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Brandon Powell, followed by Gloria Berry, and then Russell Maureen. Sorry.
Good evening. I'm here to express my support for item number 12, the resolution supporting the maximum affordable housing number of units at 16th and Mission. I've been working to address San Francisco's housing affordability crisis, and frequently people who are advocating for more housing here that, you know, developers are going to profit and it's luxury condos, this, and, you know, I would support more housing, but I want more affordable housing. Well, this is affordable housing. It's desperately needed. The most vulnerable members of our community need this housing. As one of the previous commenters noted, there are 10 families who will be directly affected if the scope of this project is reduced and will not have the opportunity to live in San Francisco. This is utterly urgent that we continue to build housing to support the people who are most vulnerable. And I think it's urgent and imperative that this committee support the progress that is being made to address housing affordability in the city of San Francisco so that San Franciscans can stay here and, you know, kids who grew up in the city can afford to stay in the city. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Gloria Berry.
Nehoma. Doje. I'm a Visitation Valley resident, and I echo the sentiment that this is a diverse neighborhood. I lived in this neighborhood now for 5 years, and I would like to recommend that this body partner with the River of Life Church, because they hold forums that are multilingual, and they go as far as giving those that speak either Cantonese or Mandarin headphones so that they can hear in real time the translation, because they're having trouble. The screen is going so fast, it's hard to keep up with what's being said. So I think partnering with that church would be a good idea, because they bring in Black, white, Asian, a diverse group of people all together in one room that get along, believe it or not. Moving right along, I should have started off by saying that I'm representing the Harriet Tubman Democratic Club, and our president is on vacation, so I like to use my privilege. Also, I would like to move on to the resolution about behavioral health beds. And real quick, tell a personal story of my daughter's sister that came to San Francisco in hope of getting some mental health service. And she ended up in one of the hospitals and got released in 3 days because they needed her bed, and she ended up taking her life. So the need for mental health beds is an emergency. And when we see people on the streets, a lot of it is mental health, not lazy, not dope fiends, not all the little criticisms. It's true mental health complex problems. And then I wanted to move on to the Asian hate subject. I want to remind folks that the reason why Black and Asians are often moved in the same neighborhoods in San Francisco is because colonizers wanted that. They did not want Black or Asians in the same neighborhood as us. at one point, it was illegal for Chinese to live anywhere but Chinatown. And then when Black people came out here to work on the shipyard, it was illegal for us to live anywhere but in the Fillmore alongside the Japanese. And with the shrimp, the shrimpers, the Chinese people that shrimped in Hunters Point. So the division is created by white supremacy. It's not us not liking you guys and you guys not liking us. It's fabricated. And trust me, I'm in community every day and there's never discussion about someone not liking someone Asian or harming anybody Asian. And when we see—
Thank you for your comment.
I'm using my privilege.
Your privilege is not transferable unless you are the president or co-president of that club. It doesn't transfer to a different person.
Okay, well, moving to my last comment, I just wanted to fact check that the police in San Francisco were never defunded. It was discussed to be, but it was not done. And in fact, the police received a 4% raise.
Thank you, Ms. Berry.
Thank you for your comment. And next I have Russell Maureen, followed by Jenny, no last name.
All right, I'm gonna try to be brief. I know it's getting late. So thank you for coming to our neighborhood. I'm a lifelong resident, born in San Francisco, grew up in Bayview, been in Visitation Valley for over 20 years. Two things that are specific to, I believe, this party and this club. After the last election, we know what happened, but a few days after the last election, the news stories started to circulate that Visitation Valley was Trump country. Portola was Trump company. I didn't hear read anything from anybody, any official disputing that. I looked at the data. Visitation Valley, still 60, 70, at least 60% voted blue. Okay? No place in this city voted red, including Visitation Valley and Portola. Somebody out here, somebody in this city needed to put that out there to protect Visitation Valley. And that's important because during 2020, after the census, and they were doing the redistricting process, I was one of these people who was up at 2 a.m. watching these meetings and seeing how certain folks wanted to tear up District 10, break it up. Hey, Visitation Valley, they can go somewhere else. We want this and that. Visitation Valley, I heard somebody say that, oh, that's Trump company. They vote Trump. We don't need them in District 10. So this stuff matters. We need somebody to defend the Visitation Valley and make sure that we are clearly identified as what we are. And I think we spoke today about registration. I think registration is great. Honesty is great, okay? But we need to vote. We have registered voters in this neighborhood who don't vote. Every election, every single election, two neighborhoods are at the bottom of the voter turnout list. Visitation Valley and Bayview. We have plenty of voters in this neighborhood, they just don't vote. Please do something about that. Before this next election, we have our supervisor coming up. How do we get to more than 30%? If everybody in this room is a registered voter, maybe 2 rows are gonna vote. How can we do something better about that? Register more voters, great. Get the people who are already registered to vote in the next election. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. Jenny. The one who's there you go. And then Leon, you're subbing in.
AI is gonna.
All right.
Hello， 大家好，我係 Jenny。因為咧，我住喺呢度咧要34年㗎啦，咁Hello， everybody， 大家好，我係 Jenny Ma， 我住喺呢度34年㗎啦。咁咧20年前咧，我就係為三藩市做義工，做咗20年足足。
講得太快 I think that's too fast. So the AI is not gonna go ahead. I'll translate word for you. Okay.
I'm scared.
講廣東話。
Don't be scared. We love you.
因為我對住你哋話好驚㗎。OK。因為我叫 Jenny。因為咧呢一次咧，你哋民主黨話嚟呢度我哋社區開會咧，我係好興奮嘅。可以見到有啲係老朋友嚟嘅。 咁咧見到你哋咧，我覺得咧，我都好榮幸嘅。咁我呢班老人咧下邊坐住嗰啲老人都好榮幸嘅。咁你啲因為我咧就係嚟美國34年，我04年嗰陣時我就開始做三藩市嘅義工嚟㗎啦。我嗰陣時咧，我係帶住好多，我哋係呢個家長會帶住好多嘅家長去爭取咗口頭翻譯同書面翻譯，呢啲係我嚟㗎。咁呢個會章我做咗20年，後嚟咧，我係14年就做咗呢個 Meditation Valley 咧嘅老人中心，成立咗呢個會喺呢度。咁20年前我係為三藩市去爭取權利，去爭取好多嘅資源資訊翻嚟俾我哋嘅三藩市。但係到我而家咧呢11年咧，我哋個會係冇錢嘅，係啱而家即係攞政府2年嘅經費，但係可能我哋下一年咧，我哋嘅經費都冇啦。咁我哋下邊咧，我哋個會員咧，老人咧係要差唔多800人嘅參與人嘅。咁如果我哋以前我為呢個三藩市去爭取嘅權益同埋權利，咁輪到我而家去爭取我自己嘅會嘅權益同權利，我自己想咧，我哋去邊度去爭取？因為我哋嗰個係好細嘅機構，唔係大機構嚟嘅。咁咧，我哋咧嗱呢度我哋要太極，要唱歌，要跳舞。我哋7日喺呢度活動嘅，係為呢個社區去，唔係為社區，係為廣大嘅三藩市去做㗎。1213年嗰陣時候咧，呢度係一個爛地嚟㗎，冇人嚟用㗎，冇人嚟㗎。後嚟我哋去做咗之後咧，呢度蒸蒸日上。我哋呢個係細嘅機構，所以我係好非常感謝阿威士佢哋亞太一直咁默默咁背後支持我哋雖然咧做到而家，咁我希望民主黨希望要幫唔單止你幫助即係強勢嘅社區同埋機構，又可以能夠幫助下我哋咧嗰啲非常弱嘅機構。我哋真係唔係需要好多錢，我哋需要嘅係你哋大家個一齊去幫助我哋啲老人。我哋老人實際上係俾政府咧，老人嘅開心咧係俾政府咧慳咗好多錢㗎。佢哋健康，政府就省錢。所以希望你哋每一位咧幫助我哋，等我哋咧繼續 VBA 咧繼續走落去。多謝。
Let me translate. So good evening, my name is Jenny. I came to San Francisco 34 years ago, and I come here beginning with volunteer for the community. And in 2014, I was actually become the volunteer for the BVAC, and it was about 11 years right now. We're still working, contribute a lot, helping the senior from all translations, language, as well as other activities. But what I can worry about is I can see it is we have very minimal funding coming into it. And I'm worried about that right now in the year 2025, there's not any additional funding. And we worry that in the next couple of years, we might be running out of any funding. We're a very small organization. We don't ask for a lot, but we serve a lot of seniors, hundreds of seniors that actually they be here, able to do Tai Chi, dancing, and all the activities, and also in the same time service them for language need. And we want to actually ask for the Democratic Party here, don't ignore us. We are actually small, and we are a very small community that's serving seniors, monolingual seniors, that if we want to actually just a little bit additional support and funding, we will keep it going. Because you know what, with the seniors, If they happy, they stay healthy, the community will be healthy, will be happy. And that's what you need for the Democratic Party. So I'm really here to actually ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Leon. Thank you, Jenny.
We'll let the AI try another time. We'll work the kinks out, Leon. That was Jenny Mai. Last call for public comment. That is the end of my list. If anybody in this room would like to give public comment, the time to do so is now. Come over here and just tell me your name, because I don't need you to write it down at this point. Tino, T-I-N-O, and last name? Tino Felice.
Good evening, everybody. Good to see everybody. Thank you.
Hi, Tina. Nice to see you.
To have the API one. I know there's a lot of stuff, issues coming our way. I just, pray that you guys listen to everybody that came before me, but also had,
Slow down.
sorry, I'm not. Just wanted to say one thing too, is just again, like my sister said back there, we need, even for me, being a Pacific Islander, Samoan, in San Francisco, we need more representation. I want to continue to build that within our community, but again, just talking about affordable housing, that's one subject or one thing that we always talk about in our community, how we can continue to build our community up. Before COVID, we had about 10,000 residents or Samoan Pacific Islanders in the city. After COVID, we dwindled down to 3,000. So that's a big deal. I remember being in Visitation Valley, this was our home. Bayview, the Southeast sector, Visitation Valley, that was where all our folks are at, and continue to, with the Navy shipyard and all the things that changed throughout the city. But, one thing is I want to make sure that, our Pacific Islanders are represented, but also heard and seen. And again, like my brother Russell and everybody else in Visitation Valley, we're always overlooked over here. It's great to get folks to come out to our different centers or organizations to see what we're working with, and also how to continue to build better communities with everybody, and also for the community. And not just, developers come in. We want to make sure that the jobs are for our people, contractors, developers that come from San Francisco and even in the neighborhood to continue to work and build their own neighborhoods up and feel a sense of belonging, but also what they can show with their families, leaving legacies of what they did, in the city during this time. But just want to say, just thank you for your time and, stand in solidarity with all our Visitation Valley folks. Again, we got to get more representation for our Pacific Islander folks, and we want to continue to build that up. So thank you guys for listening to everybody, and I know it's a hard challenge and a hard fight for everybody. So thank you guys for hearing us and coming out to Viz Valley and Sunny Down neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you, Tino.
Last call. Madam Chair, I believe that's public comment.
Okay, thank you. We're moving on to agenda item number 6. These are committee reports and officer reports. As for the chair's reports, I will say that we have done a good job of being on the move this month. We have, as Director Lai indicated, we had some coffee talk over at Hey Neighbor in the Portola. We helped to drive some membership for our new Democratic Club that we're chartering tonight. We did community service by bagging groceries and had some educational forums. I do feel like we are getting a sense of the neighborhoods, and I myself am a Portola resident, and so this has been a very fun month for me to participate in the events. And next month we will be moving, because June is Pride Month, we will be moving to the Castro for our next On the Move. We will be having our monthly meeting at the LGBT Center on Market Street, and I hope you will come out and see us there also. I think that Vice Chair Calamucci, do you have a report?
Good evening, thank you. Thank you, Chair Tug. So just a quick report from our Labor Committee. First, I wanted to thank our union folks who joined us tonight. I happen to know those guys. When carpenters come, they roll with rank and file workers. So they're all getting up to be at work tomorrow at 7. So that's why they took off. But I do appreciate that. And I do actually also want to mention, I can't speak for every union, but I can speak for my union. Our members in San Francisco live in this district. And so in the southeastern neighborhoods in general. And so it's very apropos and great that we're able to do this. So thank you, Chair Tong and Michael and everybody who put this together. So we have some of our, and Courtney, of course, so we can have some of our union participation as well. Back in March, this body passed a resolution in support of workers at REI. One of the things that was resolved in that resolution is that we would support the union's effort on a vote no campaign on the board of directors for REI. Long story short, it's a co-op, so anybody can vote. So we were encouraging San Francisco Democrats, as well as members of this body, to vote no and support the workers at Local 5. I'll just read from the release because the election was earlier this month. Today, REI confirmed that thousands of co-op members voted to reject the company's corporate candidates in the 2025 board of directors election. 115,000 co-op members said to REI's website to vote withhold on all three of REI's proposed candidates, to take a stand against years of union busting, bad faith bargaining, and REI's track record of abandoning its founding values. So huge win for Local 5, and I'm super psyched that this body, that we passed a resolution that asked for action, that we took the action, we were able to have a small role, hopefully, in standing with those workers. So I think kudos are in order. And Chair Tung, that is my report.
Thank you, Vice Chair Calmucci. Moving on to, let's see, any other officer reports or committee reports? Okay, now we're on to exciting number 7, chartering the Portola. I'm gonna always say Portola. The Portola District Democratic Club. Vice Chair Hare.
Yes, good evening, and thank you for the warm welcome to Visitation Valley. I'm really excited to have this item on the agenda. Thank you, Chair Chung, for scheduling it. Because this is the first new Democratic club that we are chartering for this body. As many of you, as all of you on the body and many of you in this room know, we rechartered a lot of clubs recently, but this is our first new club. And that is very exciting for multiple reasons. One, our very own chair of this body is from this neighborhood and is a founding member of the Portola District Democratic Club. And it also, as was mentioned by Director Lai here, is an area where Democrats have room to grow. And so I am really proud that the neighbors of the Portola District, I'm not going to vote on how it's pronounced, have stepped up and are taking up the effort to charter and organize in this often forgotten but never by this body ever again neighborhood. So we look forward to welcome you to the Democratic Party family, and I hope to have the support of all of my colleagues.
Very good. Do we have a motion to approve the Portola District Democratic Club as a new charter club? Member Wiener, so moved. Seconded by Member Ho. Any discussion? Anyone want to discuss this? All right. All right. So we're going to vote now. Can we do this by acclamation, members? All right. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Welcome to the family, Portola Dems. If you're a member, can you please stand? Oh, me too. Yeah. All right, thank you and congratulations. All right, moving on to item number 8, which is a resolution urging funding for behavioral health treatment beds in the upcoming San Francisco budget cycle. That is Vice Chair Harris.
Colleagues, recently a city-convened work group concluded that San Francisco is short at least 135 mental health beds, including locked and subacute facilities for individuals with the most complex needs. So today, I'm honored to introduce a resolution urging the city to fund these new behavioral health treatment beds in the upcoming budget. This resolution is special to me because it didn't come from an interest group or a 501c3 or a 501c4 or a lobbyist. It came directly from my constituents, our constituents. It came from young people who approached me because they see the crisis in our neighborhoods and they want to be part of the solution. The lack of capacity to treat the people who most need it is one of the most urgent challenges we face in stabilizing people and getting them on a path to care. These aren't simple cases. Many involve dual diagnoses, conservatorship, and decades of system neglect. Community providers are overwhelmed and often unequipped to meet the level of care, and the cost of inaction is severe. We are cycling people through emergency rooms, jails, encampments, and worse, instead of into stable treatment. The passage of Proposition 1 was a step in the right direction, but it doesn't get us all the way there. So I am really grateful for Mayor Lurie's recent announcement that 73 beds were funded in part with Prop 1, but it still falls short. We have the data, we have the state funding as a match, and we have passionate Democratic community members, some of whom are in this room, including the next generation of leaders calling on us to act. So I encourage us to do so and to pass this resolution.
Thank you, Vice Chair Hare. Is there a motion to, is there any discussion on this resolution? Any discussion? Is there a motion to approve this resolution? Moved by Director Chen. Is there a second? Seconded by Director Lai. Could we have a roll call vote, please? Oh, yes.
Let's see, on the motion, this is item 8, motion moved by Chen to approve the resolution titled, the resolution urging funding for behavioral health treatment beds in upcoming San Francisco budget cycle, authored by Hare. Calling the roll, starting from Gupta.
Yes.
Gupta, aye. Hare.
Yes.
Hare, aye. Ho. Ho, aye. Kim. Kim, abstain. Lai. Lai, aye. Mahmood. Aye. Kingsbury. Aye. Mar. Aye. Win. Aye. Philhauer. Aye. Sanjirardi. Aye. 2. Aye. Akbar. Aye. Aliodopir. Aye. Arce. Aye. Avalos. Abstain. Kalamuchi. Aye. Chan. Abstain. Chandler is absent. Chen is aye. Coles. Aye. Dorsey. Aye. Galata is absent. Ex officios. Pelosi. Aye. Kounalakis. Abstain. Ma. Aye. Cohen. Abstain. Wiener. Aye. Haney. Aye. Stephanie. Aye. Chair Tom. Aye. Have all those who wish to vote voted? By a vote of 24 ayes, 0 no, 5 abstain, 3 absent, the motion carries.
Thank you and congratulations, member, Vice Chair Hare. Okay, moving on to, anyone wish to be added as a co-sponsor? That's Director Lai. Good job. Okay. The item number 9, resolution in support of addressing the issues facing boys and men to expand the Democratic Party. This again is Vice Chair Harris.
Thank you, colleagues, for your support on mental health beds. Today, I'm also introducing a resolution in the hopes to address the issues facing boys and men in our city and in our country. This issue is not just a moral imperative, it is essential for the future of our country and our democracy. In the 2014 election, Democrats lost. 2024 election, Democrats lost. We lost partly because 56% of men aged 18 to 29 voted for Donald Trump. And that was a 32 percentage point swing from 2020. So in 4 years, we lost 23 percentage points. Meanwhile, boys and men suffer from unique struggles, including higher rates of suicide and drug use than women, lower college graduation rates than women, and decreasing workforce participation. The Democratic Party has long championed women's empowerment in the boardroom, in control of their own bodies and choices, and even in the pursuit of the White House. We will continue this valuable work, and we will not lose sight of the glass ceiling. We must also come to terms with the fact that a significant part of our country does not feel heard or represented by the Democratic Party, and voters made that clear in November. I believe that we can walk and chew gum. We can fight for abortion access and address the overdose crisis. We can uplift women in elected office and recruit more male teachers. We can get a woman in the White House, but only if our tent gets bigger, not smaller. When I talk to Democrats in San Francisco, the most common thing I hear is that folks want Democrats to wake up and get serious about what went wrong in November. And while there are many factors at play, one undeniable one is that boys and men are leaving the party. With this resolution, I hope that all of us here can unite in demonstrating that we are aware of the flaws in our party and willing to do something about it. And if we want to win in the future, we can't leave half the country behind. So let's meet the moment and bring boys and men back into the promise and the values of our party.
Thank you, Vice Chair Hare. Is there any discussion regarding this item? Yes, Member Cole, Director Coles. Is this the closest mic?
Hi, good evening. My name is Lanier Coles, and I wanted to co-sponsor this resolution because this issue is extremely personal to me. I also want to bring this home to San Francisco. I am the parent of 2 teenage boys. They are not able to vote yet. However, they and their friends in the past election shared many of their perceptions around the Democratic Party with me. And I can tell you that teenage boys in San Francisco do not feel moved by the Democratic Party. There are a multitude of reasons why the Democratic Party is losing young boys and men, and it is imperative that we wake up and we address these issues. And it's not just messaging, although we need to do a better job of messaging to them. There are fundamental issues that are impacting them and their perception of whether or not the Democratic Party is taking care of them. So I am very excited about this resolution. And more importantly, I feel very strongly that we need to do the work to win back the hearts and the minds of young boys and men. Thank you.
Member Pelosi.
On behalf of Speaker Mayor Pelosi, the purpose of politics and the responsibility of political leaders is to make a sincere effort to solve the biggest problems of our day. And in that, the challenges for men and boys are vital for our country to understand. Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi appreciates the spirit of this resolution and thanks Vice Chair Hare for bringing it forward. This is an area where Democrats, we need to show, not tell. Whereas Democrats, we need to show, not tell. That means doing the work of outreach and engagement and leading by listening. Our party needs to do more to listen to and engage with boys and men, and we cannot do that prescriptively or presumptively, where we risk just repeating our mistakes and reinforcing this problem. Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi is concerned this resolution, as is, presumes the outcome of that work by prescribing policy priorities. For the last several months, our volunteers have made over 140,000 calls to Republican districts throughout California, and we've been hearing directly from many of these folks on the issues important to them, including healthcare, veterans care, and so much more. Speaker Emerita Pelosi understands the grassroots down to the last blade of grass. That being said, would Vice Chair Hare be open to a friendly amendment?
Well, let's hear it.
Speaker Pelosi requests a friendly amendment mentioning the prescriptive topics as examples of potential topics in reference to Of Boys and Men by Richard Reeves. So essentially citing the buckets that are listed in the last clause, second to last clause, as referenced as potential topics that could be issues. And then urging and coordinating outreach and listening to best understand the issues important to men and boys. And so, sort of in the spirit of your resolution, but rather than saying we think this is the things that are going to be important to them, doing the outreach and finding out from them what is important to them. Thank you.
So I'm not sure how we effectuate that resolution amendment.
Yes.
So that is, I mean, I'm always open to the wisdom of Speaker Emerita Pelosi. And I do appreciate her deep knowledge on persuading voters and the blades of the grassroots. So I don't know if Vice Chair Hare, you might be open to spending some time to workshop this with Speaker Pelosi's proxy, like if we take a break so that you can workshop the language.
7-minute recess.
Maybe we can pass this item. We don't have very many resolutions this time around, surprisingly.
And I could be fairly quick. I didn't want to be prescriptive without giving deference to Vice Chair Harris. So.
Sure. Actually, we only have one more resolution after this. Okay, let's take a 5-minute break.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We'll see at
What I really don't get is people that have your son's already conference and they're little squeeze from Saturday night. They don't feel like getting out of bed and they have their coffee and bagel delivered. I'll be honest with you. That's all decadent for me to hear about. How are you? I just got older than you. I'm from a generation that have maybe Chinese food pizza. But walking. I need to find out how these is someone who doesn't look and see of another city. Can somebody explain it? Where's this?
I'll let you guys work it out. We might need to get it done up. 30. Now 7 Mile House closes at 9. You can go to the Bordelon. Out the road doesn't close until 10. Out the road. That's a sports bar on San Bruno. It's in my neighborhood. Well, I don't know if I want to go home. I want to see my kids. Bring back.
All right, folks, our 5 minutes are up. If I could ask members of the public to take a seat again, and if I could ask members of the DCCC to come back to their chairs, it'd be appreciated. If I could ask members of the public to take their seats, and members of the DCCC, that means you, Lily Ho.
That is, you need to take it up.
All right, who else is missing? Lanier, you taking a seat? Lily. Kaisel, can I get member Kim back?
Okay, we're gonna resume our meeting now. Gonna resume our meeting now. We're back to item number 9. So Vice, Vice Chair Hare, do you have some amendments?
Yes, I had a brief recess with the proxy for Speaker Emerita Pelosi, and the amendments that we would like to introduce are the following. In the second to last resolved clause, we would like to replace the word including with the words such as. We would like to add a footnote to that sentence to include the language as referenced in the book of Boys and Men by Richard Reeves. And then after that sentence, add a sentence that says, these efforts shall take place in tandem with outreach, conversations, and listening to boys and men about the issues most important to them.
Director Chen, you have all of that?
It's, can you send him the red line? Send him
All right.
the red line. So the mic is not, if you're furiously typing over here. All right, does everyone have the amendments in mind? Is there any further discussion on this item? Member Gupta.
I appreciate. There we go. I appreciate the resolution proposed by Vice Chair Hare, especially considering that 6 out of 10 underachievers in OECD countries are boys, and that includes 15% of boys in the United States compared to 9% of girls. This is clearly an issue that does need to be addressed in general. As a member of the nonpartisan San Francisco Unified School District Board of Education, I recognize this resolution, given that it is in the DCCC, addresses addressed to the SFUSD and is in recognition of trying to increase membership in the Democratic Party. As such, I'm supportive of it, but I will abstain.
Any other discussion? Yes, Member Kingsbury. Here.
Thank you, Chair Tom. I just want to start with a quick question for him. Do you like spending time with people who make you feel stupid? Yeah. Do you like people who act like your opinions are wrong, like your interests are dumb, and like you don't belong? Neither do young men. And that's how our party has come across. Right now, we as Democrats, we have a mean girl problem. If you don't say the right things, you don't have the right thoughts, you can't sit with us. And that attitude has consequences. It's made it easy for us to ignore what young men are actually going through, which is what this resolution is addressing. It makes it easy to write off their struggles as entitlement. It makes it easier to treat their pain like it doesn't count, but it does. And that's why I appreciate this resolution from Vice Chair Emma Hare. We actually start to address some of these problems. It focuses on what's real, boys and men falling behind in school, stepping out of the workforce, spiraling into isolation and mental health crisis. It says equity means everyone. It says listening to everyone, and that everyone means them too. So I just want to say, I appreciate you. I appreciate you bringing this forward. I appreciate the amendments by Member Pelosi, and thank you. I'm voting for this.
Thank you, Member Kingsbury. Any other individual want to speak? So, shall we have a vote on this item? Any motion? Moved by Member Philhauer, seconded by Member Kim. All right, let's have a roll call vote. Yeah.
I'm sorry, this was moved by Pelosi. Phil Howard, sorry. Let's see. Calling the roll, this is a motion moved by Phil Howard on to approve the resolution item 9 in support of addressing the issues facing boys and men to expand the Democratic Party after discussion and amendment. Calling the roll, starting from Hare.
Yes.
Hare, aye. Ho.
Yes.
Ho, aye. Kim.
Aye.
Kim, aye. Lai.
Aye.
Lai, aye. Mahmood. Aye. Kingsbury. Aye. Mar. Aye. Win. Aye. Philhauer. Aye. San Girardi. Aye. Tu. Aye. Akbar. Aye. Alioto-Pierre. Aye. Arce. Aye. Avalos. Abstain. Calamucci. Aye. Chan. Abstain. Chen is aye. Coles. Aye. Dorsey. Aye. Gupta. Abstain. Ex officios, Pelosi. Aye. Kounalakis. Abstain. Ma. Aye. Cohen.
Aye.
Aye. Wiener. I, Haney. I, Stephanie. I, Chair Tom. Aye. Have all those who wish to vote voted? By a vote of 25 for aye, 0 for no, 4 abstain, 3 absent, the motion carries.
Congratulations, Vice Chair Hare. So, item number 10 is Member Chan's item that was withdrawn this afternoon. Oh, any other additional co-sponsors on item number 9? Oh, you again. Director Lai. Thank you. And we are skipping item number 10, which was withdrawn. 11 was withdrawn prior to the 72-hour agenda. Item number 12, resolution in support of maximum affordable housing at La Maravilla, the Marvel and the Mission. Member Chen, Director Chen.
Thank you, Chair Tung, and thank you, committee members and the public for your patience on this. This is the last item before we're done. Before the last substantive item, new item. As you may have heard in the news, there's been discussion. This site, 1979 Mission Street, has had a long history. There was a market rate developer who had bought the site and tried to build market rate housing on it. There was a lot of community opposition, and in a deal, the market rate developer, Maximus, donated the site to the city in exchange for being able to build housing on a different site. That was through a lot of community organizing to preserve as many affordable housing sites in the Mission. I hope that it's not news to all of you that the affordable housing dollars are becoming ever and ever more rare, and it's hard. And there's so much need for affordable housing. I think this committee really acknowledges that, but we don't have enough dollars to go around, and that means that and the biggest cost is just trying to find the cost of land. And so every time we find a parcel, in order for us to try to provide the best benefit for the people of San Francisco, and also to also be fiscally responsible with the dollars that we have, it's incumbent to try to build as much as possible to decrease the cost per unit of that housing and to really get the best bang for our buck. And this is not this is not just something that affects the Mission, but I think when affordable housing gets proposed, invariably someone says, "Oh, well, it's too tall, it's too blue, it's too bulky." There's oftentimes a discussion where the housing somehow gets less and less, and therefore, our unit costs go up and up, and we actually get less housing and less benefits for our community. And so this is not just about the Mission, but hopefully, but to say, hey, like we do need that the need for housing is so great. Let's try to get the best product that we have, which is to provide as many homes for people. And the difference right now between proposals is 10 homes for families making less than 80% of the county median income. So there are folks who probably could not, will be very hard pressed to be spending like much more than upwards of 40, 50, 60% of their incomes on rent otherwise to find an equivalent sort of housing situation. And so that's something that we want to make sure that we use every dollar in the house, every family as much as we can. And I ask for your support on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Chen. Is there any discussion on this item? Member Arce.
Thanks, Chair Tung. Hit the wrong button. Thank you. Good to go? Yeah, all right, thanks. Yeah, so I've lived in the Mission with my family about 16 years now, and got a lot of respect for all the organizations that are working on this project, the nonprofit housing organizations or Mission Housing and MEDA, who've been working on this along with Plaza 16 Coalition, organizers like Faith in Action and HOMI, who was here, and Poder. There's so much work and so much history to get to this point. A lot of respect for HOMI and Poder, who are both here as well. Having chaired the board of Mission Housing for about 5 years, working with our executive director, Sam Moss, and seeing the partnership with MEDA, Luis Granados and his team, It's no joke how long it takes to get to affordable housing and affordability crisis. It took us 10 years just to get to this point, and it's going to take a few more years just to get these units built. If we don't build these 10 units that are on the table right now, we don't have the funding. This federal administration is not interested in providing the federal subsidies that it takes to build low-income affordable housing that's subsidized by the federal government. The money just basically doesn't exist anymore. So if we don't build these 10 units, I don't know when we can credibly say we're actually going to get them. So out of respect for everything we've heard, and just my familiarity of what it takes to get affordable housing built in an affordability crisis, I really think we need to build these 10 units, so I support the resolution.
Thank you, Member Arce. Member Nguyen?
Yeah, this is a statement from John Avalos on the 1979 mission. I've asked my proxy to vote no on this resolution. Let's be clear, I am not against housing. I stand with mission activists and organizers to support deeply affordable, healthy housing. But this resolution ignores community self-determination and a seat at the table for the people who fought for years to make it 100% affordable housing possible at 16th and Mission, only to be shut out in the development process. Why is this resolution even before us? Who asked for it? Certainly not the community that's been organizing for years to have a voice in what gets built in their neighborhood. We're living in a time of growing authoritarianism where immigrant families, low-wage workers, and public school children, like those next to this site, are being targeted and scapegoated by the Trump agenda. We should be uniting with these communities to protect them, not doing business as usual that sidelines them at critical moment needed to honor the mission community and their struggle. To rubber stamp a project without genuine community input is undemocratic and unjust. As the people most impacted have not been included, I will be voting no on this item.
Thank you, Member Nguyen. Member Mar?
I'd like to thank Vice Chair Chen for bringing this resolution forward. This is a really important issue. In my time as District 4 Supervisor, it was one of my top priorities to create affordable housing opportunities in my district that really had never received its fair share of funding for affordable housing. And I'm proud that we were able to move to historic projects in District 4, Shirley Chisholm Village, which is the city's first ever affordable housing development for teachers and other SFUSD personnel, and then also 2550 Irving, which is the Sunset Districts and the West Side's first ever affordable housing for low income and formerly homeless families. Both of these projects, went through a very robust community engagement process that my office helped to facilitate with all of the stakeholders in the community. One of them was much more contentious than the other one, but nevertheless, that community engagement process that happened over a year in one case and multiple years in the other one were very important in making the project better and also building support for the projects in the neighborhood and not feeling like even a nonprofit housing developer is going to steamroll over the neighborhood just because they have streamlining provisions that they could take advantage of. So I do think, especially for the Mission District, which has been the ground zero of gentrification and displacement in our city for over 20 years. And the folks that led the fight, they did the heavy lifting to kill the terrible Monster in the Mission project, the luxury housing development that was proposed there before, and actually turn this into an affordable housing development opportunity. Groups like Poder, HOMI, and other members of the Plaza 16 Coalition have felt like they've been locked out and they haven't been engaged, and the development team hasn't really engaged with them or the community, including Marshall Elementary School, which is mostly, as we heard from Rob from HOMI, mostly very low-income students and immigrant families. So I think so that's why I have concerns about this resolution, which simplifies the issue as one about height and shadows versus affordable housing. And it's really, at least from what I hear from the community and those that spoke here, about the importance of community engagement and working with the community to make the project better. So that's why I'm going to be voting no on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Moore. Any other discussion on this issue, on this topic? Seeing none, do we have a motion to pass this resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice Chair Kalamucci, seconded by Member Gupta. Let's do a roll call vote, please.
Okay, this is a motion moved by Kalamucci regarding item, motion to approve the resolution item 12. Resolution in support of maximum affordable housing at La Maravilla, the Marvel in the Mission, authored by Chen. Starting a roll call vote, starting with Ho. Ho, aye. Kim.
Aye.
Kim, aye. Lai.
Aye.
Lai, aye. Mahmood. Mahmood, aye. Kingsbury.
Aye.
Kingsbury, aye. Mar. Mar, no. Win. Win, pass. Philhar. Philhar, aye. San Girardi. Aye. Two. Two, aye. Akbar. Aye. Alioto Pier. No. Arce. Aye. Avalos. No. Kalamucci. Aye. Chan. Chan Proximar. Abstain. Chen, aye. Coles. Coles, aye. Dorsey. Aye. Gupta. Aye. Hare. Aye. Ex officios, Pelosi. Aye. Kunalakis. Abstain. Ma. Aye. Cohen. Abstain. Wiener. Aye. Haney. Aye. Stephanie. Aye. Going back to passes. Win. Abstain. Chair Tom. Aye. Have all those who wish to vote voted? By a vote of 22 aye, 3 no, 4 abstain, 3 absent, the motion carries.
Congratulations, Director Chen. Oh, and co-sponsors. Director Moore. No. Okay, sorry. Member Gupta would like to co-sponsor. Anyone else? Right. Agenda item number 13, new business. Members, do you have any new business you would like to introduce for the following meeting? Okay, moving on to item number 14, which is adjournment. As is our practice, we do adjourn in memoriam and also in celebration of. Does anyone want to offer an in memoriam or in celebration for our adjournment? Well, okay, Member Nguyen.
Thank you, Chair Tom. I just want to, adjourn in celebration of QTAPI Week. 2025 you're currently in it. QTAPI Week is Queer, Trans, Gender, Asian, Pacific Islander Week that was started in 2021 in direct response to the anti-Asian hate that was the rise of anti-Asian hate and violence in the nation. This week, it marks a special first time ever in-person Chinatown Pride celebration that was on Saturday, the 24th, in partnership with the Chinese Cultural Center of San Francisco and Edge on the Square, along with the QT API Coalition, of which I'm the founder. We were in full drag and full spirits, bringing much life and vibrancy to Chinatown. And I hope it's the beginning of something new, something exciting, and more is needed to show that LGBTQ people of all races belong everywhere, and especially in our ethnic enclaves like Chinatown. Also on Tuesday, Mayor Lurie actually proclaimed it QTAPI Day in San Francisco. So we had QTAPI Day inside of QTAPI Week. Super honored and honored folks. I was honored also along with Cecilia Chung, an amazing transgender AIDS activist, and Tita Ida, Nikki Kalma from the San Francisco Community Health Center, both of which are amazing activists. And it was an honor to be on stage with them, along with our city attorney, David Chu, who came in support of the LGBTQ people in San Francisco as far as the AAPI community is concerned. QTAPI Week is the last week of May and going into June. I promise I did not invent this new Visibility Week to exhaust our QTAPI community, but I'm on my way to several more events this week. So I just want to celebrate our communities.
Thank you, Member Nguyen. And as I recall, last year we had a resolution in honor of QTAPI Week. So happy QTAPI Week to you. Member Mahmood.
I just wanted to close in memoriam of Captain Julio DeLucci, who was the former captain of the San Francisco Fire Department Station 36. Unfortunately, he passed away from pancreatic cancer last week. He was a deep friend of Chief Crispin as well, and he served my district, specifically the Tenderloin, for over nearly 10 years, or 25 years actually. And I think it just, in my district, we've had several firefighters from Station 36 pass away recently due to a variety of indications. And I think it just speaks in general to the hazards and the risk that our front linemen put to their lives in serving our neighborhoods and our city. And just wanted to acknowledge his passing at this meeting as well.
Thank you, Member Mahmood. Any other in celebrations or in memoriams? I'd just like to adjourn the meeting in celebration of AAPI Heritage Month. We're on our last few days, and it is a great big collective of different ethnicities, nationalities, and peoples. And whether you count yourself among the AAPIs in San Francisco or not, the celebration is for everyone. And there are pork buns in the back, so please take one on your way out. Oh, there are no more pork buns in the back. We got rid of all of them, but there's some bottles of water. And anyway, could I have a motion to adjourn this meeting? Moved by everybody, seconded by everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming to our meeting.